What's going on, guys? It's time for me to review an album, and I know some of you guys have been wondering what's been up with some of the higher scores lately. It's because it's what I think. The albums that I've reviewed that I've given adequate scores to, I think are fair, not to mention I like the albums. But for those of you that have thought, should I say, that I've gone soft, think again. I'm here to review the newest album by the band Black Tide entitled POST-MORTEM. This is a 12-track affair from the Florida band that fancies themselves to be heavy metal, but at the same time, whenever you listen to the crap, all you can think of is, this sounds so fucking typical. I've heard this in the latest Avenged Sevenfold album, I've heard this in the latest Funeral for a Friend album, or any of the convoluted massive bands that are draped under that umbrella. This is an album that has 12 tracks, 51 minutes in length, and I honestly wanted to shut it off after track number 2. There are aspects to this album that have good moments. There are good moments here, there are good elements to this band. For one, the guitar work is pretty decent. In fact, the musical nature of this is probably the most redeeming factor. The vocals, the lyrics, the way in which it's presented, the fact that the diversity is really just not there, just to name a few are some of the real negatives on this record, and it's something that's mindlessly apparent almost from square one. Whenever you hear the soaring guitar riffs, whenever you hear the semi-well-penned musicianship, you think to yourself, okay, this is pretty decent. And if you remember, their debut album was not that bad. But this is an album where it almost seems like the band realized that, well, everyone else is talking about death. Everyone else is talking about vampires. Everyone else is talking about just whining and bitching and moaning and blah, 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 you know, take my life because it's already over, man, 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 man. And they're just like, you know what, that sounds like a really, really fucking good idea. Why don't we just hop right on that bandwagon, just go right into the funeral parlor and play as much and as hard as we want, but at the same time whining and talking, fuck it. I would review this album with a serious glint if it wasn't just like 75 other things that I've heard. I would review this album with a serious tone if I hadn't or felt like I was vicariously listening to another Avenged Sevenfold album. But an Avenged Sevenfold album actually has some goddamn diversity to it. I mean, I even have to admit that. An Avenged Sevenfold album actually possesses lyrics that are somewhat thought-provoking at times. At times, folks. And you know what? Live, they're a good band, and they're not terrible in the studio. The whole Avenged Sevenfold thing just has gotten beaten to death in my head over the past couple of years. Well, sparing the last two, but at the same time it got beaten to my head so senselessly, so ruthlessly, that it just meh. It was just meh to me. It was just bleh. Black Tide, though, has somehow found a way to channel that inner meh that I felt towards Avenged Sevenfold and make it even worse. They've been able to transform the meh into a flat-out bleh. This is not an album that I'm going to say is for me. And this is also not an album that I'm going to say that everyone's going to feel the same way as I do on this. And that's something that's A-okay, righty-roo-dandy. I'm awaiting the hate. I'm awaiting the flack. I'm awaiting all of the spontaneous comments of people saying, you're an asshole, you didn't actually review the album. You know why? Because I don't have to. If I were to review this album, what I would actually be reviewing is the entire umbrella of bands that sound just like this. Now, let me tell you. The band members have confessed some of their favorite bands are Megadeth, Iron Maiden, and Pantera. In the musicianship, I can see hints and glimmers and glints every so often. In fact, more often than not. But you should be playing that type of music and really reflect it with your lyrics, with your vocal inflection. This sounds like pussycore. This sounds like vampirecore. Like you decided to watch Twilight and then decided to write 12 songs about it. You decided to watch the Vampire Diaries and write a song based around every episode. Like, you want to go outside and be bit by somebody just so you could sparkle just like Edward. Just so you can get sexed up like the dude from fucking True Blood. Or just, I don't know, like you've watched one too many episodes of fucking Salad Fingers or something. It's just absolutely appalling and insulting to me. I'm going to say this, folks. I really am. Queensryche is still right now one of the worst albums of all time, but not to mention easily the worst album I heard this year. Yeah, it was worse than Morbid Angel. But this is damn close. This Black Tide album actually is damn close to that Queensryche range. Because with the Queensryche album, I at least had the tolerance, the patience, even though it pained me on the inside, even though my heart itself was being ripped out and stabbed to death and then stepped on and then have a dog urine on it. I actually had the tolerance to listen to that album all the way through, even though it was so bland and mediocre that it made me want to just fucking, I don't know, masturbate or something, I don't know. This is an album that after 2 tracks, I knew where it was going. I didn't have to listen to another goddamn track. That was it. End of story. See you later. Sayonara. Bye-bye. I am on to the next album. Next. Illud Divinium Insanus is better than this. That's all you need to know. Fuck this band. Fuck this album. And fuck the album cover. I should have known the minute that I saw it that this was just going to be another watered down, pussy, faggotronic piece of shit. But instead, I decided to give it a shot because I'm a nice guy. Joke's on fucking me.